Well, looks like the first Democratic debates are about to happen, and it's going to be live streamed. So this came out in the Daily Beast, and it is June 25th, 2019, NBC. Democratic candidates vying for their chance to topple Trump in 2020 will face off for the first time this Wednesday and Thursday evening. The ever growing field of presidential hopefuls have been whittled down to a mere 20 candidates for the first Democratic presidential primary debates. And in an attempt at quality over quantity, the debaters have split into two random groups. 10 candidates will debate on June 26th, and the other 10 will square off the following evening. This week's debates will be the first chance for voters to compare in real time the candidates' plans for the country, where they stand on crucial policy issues such as healthcare and taxes, as well as spot any possible red flags that emerge in a high pressure situation like these debates. The debates held in Miami, Florida will broadcast on NBC, MSNBC, and Telemundo and are slated to run from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Time each night. If you're watching online, the debates can be live streamed via NBCnews.com and NBC News apps, Telemundo, or NBC News Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube accounts. So I'll probably watch it on YouTube. Slated to prod the candidates are NBC nightly news anchor Lester Holt, MSNBC primetime host Rachel Maddow, Meet the Press moderator Chuck Todd, Today Show co-anchor Savannah Guthrie, and okay, so how come? I guess the only moderator that's black is Lester Holt. That's it. Okay. NBC will ultimately decide what questions the candidates will ask, but the network is soliciting questions from the public here. Really? Then y'all need to have the question about reparations in there for both nights. So they're soliciting questions from the public. So I'm going to go out there and click on the questions. I don't know if they're showing them or not, but I want to see if anybody asked about reparations. And if they didn't, I'll put it out there. All right. So tonight is going to be Elizabeth Warren, Beto O'Rourke, Cory Booker, Bill de Blasio, Amy Klobuchar, Tulsi Gabbard, Jay Inslee, Julian Castro, Tim Ryan, John Delaney. Okay, therefore tonight the lineup for Thursday is Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden, Pete Buttigieg, Kamala Harris, Kirsten Gillibrand, Andrew Yang, Marianne Williamson, John Hickenlooper, Michael Bennett, and Eric Swalwell. Look like the second night's going to be a little more interesting than the first. Yeah, well, anyway, NBC is starving for brevity. During these first debates, the network will break up the 2 hour debates into 5 segments with 4 commercial breaks according to their published rules. Each candidate will have 60 seconds to answer a question and 30 seconds for a follow up. No candidate will be allowed opening statements, but will be given time to make a closing statement, for which NBC has not given a time limit. All right, y'all. So this should be interesting. My only interest is if the reparations question will come up. I sure hope it is. I will leave the link to this article in the description box, y'all. And this will also give everybody a chance to see what kind of questions, and if since they are soliciting the public, perhaps people can go out there and put the reparations question out there for the candidates. Okay, so let's go on. No candidate will be allowed. Okay, I did that part. Each candidate is looking to define themselves to the American public and fast. Who will emerge successful could be determined by which candidate appears most equipped to challenge Trump or the Democratic establishment, or both at the same time. So far, the Democratic primary has been held by former President Joe Biden's. What? So far, Democratic primary has been led by former President Joe Biden. Joe Biden has never been the president. What's wrong with you, NBC? Since he first announced his candidacy in April, the ex-VP has been the front runner in most major polls, while the early lead could be due to a large part to name recognition. This first debate offered other polling candidates like Sanders, Harris, and Buttigieg to take swing at him on the first night. Debaters on Biden's tail are expected to frame their talking points with the former VP's popularity close in mind. Warren is the only candidate polling in the top 5 of the Democratic field who was not placed in the same debate as Biden. As such, the second night, stacked with the remaining top 4 candidates, has been unofficially deemed the main stage. While high polling, Warren and O'Rourke will not be able to take on Biden this time around. Their first evening debate could afford them the opportunity to make clear their visions and distinguish themselves from the night 2 front runners. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, although we know many of the black community, especially people for reparations, are not going to be participating in voting this year, but it's still good to see what's going on, as far as these presidential candidates and the things that they are saying. All right, so it is saying the next debates will be July 30th and 31st on CNN. So we have the June tonight and tomorrow, and then next month, at the very end of the month, they're having the second debates. So it's good to keep an eye on this kind of stuff. We are in a very volatile climate here in America now. And even if you're not interested, it is still good to watch these things and be able to call these people out on a lot of their fakery up in this country, especially when it comes down to reparations. We know everybody is for studies, but when it comes down to making any type of financial restitution, they all seem to have a problem with that. Every single candidate, except for Marianne Williamson. She's the only one that wants to at least do something. The rest of them, they're for studies, but nothing beyond that. And we already got the latest answer from Elizabeth Warren. She doesn't even think you should have a check. But please tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.